What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Syd. I am back. I know it's been a minute, to say the least. School just got a little hectic for the spring semester. It got a little intense. But I am back today with a video about how I study in nursing school, things that I do that have helped me be successful up until this point, and hopefully through the rest of my schooling. Almost close to the end. And I've gotten some questions and comments on other videos about studying and stuff, so I just thought I would throw together a video real quick. So hopefully this is helpful to you and some other people out there. Share with your friends. It's always nice. But before I jump into my studying habits and tips and things for you guys, please be sure to like this video, comment down below how you study, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll get into it. Okay, so quick update. Spring semester I was in maternity and I was in pediatrics. Passed both of those. It was stressful, but I did. And some of the things that I did to get through those courses with studying, one thing I do every week with school is to write out a to-do list. So I have this whiteboard here because for our test, we have to use a whiteboard instead of scrap paper. Just got a cheap one from Target. And every week I write out a to-do list of things that I need to do for the week, and I add and erase as necessary. So this week we just started class back today. I already finished a lot of the things and redid it this morning. So I had quizzes and stuff on there that I needed to turn in by tomorrow morning, and I just erase it as I go. And if I come up with something else that I need to do, or I need to study something else that I may not understand as well, then I'll add that back on. That's just one thing that I like to do, and it kind of keeps like an organized flow of things so you don't get wrapped up in something else or distracted and venture off into things that you may not need to know yet. So yeah, I do this every week. We have Zoom and everything else too, but I don't write that on my to-do list because y'all know how I feel about planners. Got my new planner for 2021, and I have been writing everything down in my planner. So before class starts, let me see if I can make it where you guys can see it better. Okay, so before classes start, we get our course calendar, our clinical schedule, and our syllabus and test outline like 3-4 days before classes start. And I go through my planner and write out everything for class. I always have my like bills and stuff in there too, but I always write out everything for class. That way I can like plan my work schedule ahead of time, and I always highlight important deadlines like quizzes and tests. So this is just like a weekly spread that I have. It's not much in there right now. It just is like a general summary of what we have each day because I do the to-do list. So the to-do list is where I go into my detail. The planner is like, oh, you have Zoom today. Oh, you have to turn in this quiz today. The to-do list is where I'm like, okay, you have a Zoom on this topic at this time, and then y'all have review on this topic at this time, and all of that good stuff. So these are two things that have gotten me through. And just because I'm a little like obsessive about my planning, and it helps, I also add all of these things to my Google Calendar. So I have it on my phone, I have it on my computer, and I also have it on my iPad here. And I haven't added every single thing for this class yet, but for my last class that just finished up in April, you can kind of see everything is here. We got color coding for different things. Zoom is a color, project was one color, lecture that were pre-recorded were one color, clinicals were their own color, work and everything. That's just what works for me. And I found that to be very beneficial with my time management and how I was studying, where I was focusing my attention. So now that we got the bigger picture down, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Okay, so another thing that I do to study at my school, with every lecture that we have, we get learning objectives. So I'm gonna show you guys real quick. On all of our PowerPoints and with our notes, we get learning objectives. So this is just an example from the lecture I had this morning. And I go through and copy all of the learning objectives from each topic that's going to be onto our test. I copy all of the learning objectives onto a study guide type of situation on Google Docs. So this is just the Google Doc, and I copied all the learning objectives onto here. Sorry for the glare. And then I just go back through and answer them, because some of them are set up in like question form. Some of them, it's not really a question, but you have to understand it to be able to answer the questions on the test. So I always find that if I can answer the learning objectives off the top of my head, then I know what I need to know for the test. And whatever ones I can't answer off the top of my head, I'll highlight, go study, come back, try to fill it in off the top of my head. And that is one method that I like to use, just based on what information we are given at my school. Another thing I like to do is Quizlet. And one of my amazing classmates, she makes a Quizlet based off of every single lecture we've had. And I just use the ones that she makes. It's so great. She is absolutely amazing. And she separates them on there, like based on what test they are. And I just go through that, answer the Quizlets to 100% completion on the learn method. And I do it that way because you have to fill in the blank, or you have to like process of elimination your way through it. So you're not just sitting there looking at flashcards and it going in and out. You have to know it to be able to fill in the blank. So that's one of the reasons why I like using Quizlet. And then the other thing that I do for right now, I am in my second/last med-surg, praise the Lord. And we have a study guide that came with our textbook. So I go through and tab off the pages that have to do with whatever chapter is actually going to be on the test. That way I can do practice questions. I feel like I've said this in another video at some point. Practice questions are a wonderful way of gauging your information. And even if you don't fully know, you can narrow it down, or you just get in the rhythm of how nursing style questions are asked and phrased. So I use that book because it goes with the textbook for this class. I've also had some of the success books, the Davis success books. I had the fundamentals one physically, and I had the pediatric one physically. I actually have the one for this class as a PDF file that I found on Google. And then we have ATI at my school. So I have the ATI book that I also use for practice questions, and it's kind of like a summarized version of the notes. So I also flip through that book and tab off pages. Let me show you guys this one. Once again, tabbed off pages based off of what we need to know or review, and I go through those and like read, highlight, underline. This is from the first med-surg class. And then they have the practice questions in there, and I do those as well, just to reiterate that information for myself. But the biggest thing that I do to study is watch YouTube videos and play games. Like if you can find a Kahoot or some kind of studying game situation, YouTube and game style reviews have been very helpful for me. And even reviews with my classmates where there's like a small group study situation and you're almost teaching the information just to make sure you understand it. If I can explain the information to you, then I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Does that make sense? But for the YouTube videos and game style things, we have, in previous classes that I've had at my school, we've had we've had Kahoot and like a quiz show game thing. And I go through those on my own and when we do them in class. And it's just like let's recall this without looking at anything else at the same time. And for YouTube, I watch Level Up RN, and I actually put it on my TV because I just prefer it that way versus sitting at my desk and doing it all the time. I use Nurse Sarah, or Registered Nurse RN, and her website with the practice quizzes and things like that. And then I use Simple Nursing. And for certain topics, Simple Nursing has honestly been the best one. For fluid and electrolytes, for diabetes, I believe it was, for DKA, there was something else that I used it for a DVT, I believe, and a few other things. I've used it for certain pharmacology. Simple Nursing has been amazing for when we were learning about benzos, and the video he was like Lamb and Pam drove in a Benz or something like that, and I was like, Lambs and Pams, anything that ends in Lambs and Pams, that's how I know it's that medication. Simple Nursing, Nurse Sarah, and Level Up RN are probably solely responsible for the progress that I've made this far in nursing, aside from reading and practice questions. They're the ones that get the information in a way that I can understand it, that the textbook does not always do, or that my instructors may not always do for me. So that is basically how I study. However you prefer, I find that it's helpful to read before class, so that when you get there, or watch whatever videos, or even just do your study guide review before class, so that when you get to the lecture, it's almost like you're hearing it for the second time, so it sticks a little bit better. And the other thing that I would say do, if you don't take anything else away from this video, please make yourself a to-do list every day. It doesn't have to be on a whiteboard, or every week. It doesn't even have to be every day. It doesn't have to be on a whiteboard. It could be on a sticky note. It could be on a scratch sheet of paper. You can even have Google remind you, or Siri, or Alexa, or whoever, to do X, Y, and Z for the day. But this method helps me so much because it allows me to better manage my time. And I also put my computer on Do Not Disturb until 7 p.m. just so that I don't have those distractions showing up while I'm trying to do stuff for school. So that by the time I am at the end of my day for school, which I usually try to stop everything by like 5:30, so I can cook, eat, shower, sleep, all that good stuff. Watch TV if I want to. I always do my to-do list for the week, And then I set myself a time limit for studying because I don't want to get burnt out. Self-care is important. Sleep is important. Nursing school is very stressful. It's a little bit more stressful than your average schooling. So always be sure to take the time that you need, especially during your breaks, or if you're in an accelerated program, you don't get many breaks. You might get like a week between classes. This time, my school got 2 between spring classes and summer. So I took that whole first week off. Loved it. Wonderful. Just do what you need to do to be the best you for yourself and perform at the best that you can. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I didn't really show you too many tangible things, but I will put a list right here of everything that I said that I use. I'll link the channels for YouTube below that I mentioned, which was I'll link the channels below that I mentioned, which was Level Up RN, Simple Nursing, and Registered Nurse RN, which is Nurse Sarah. So I'll link those channels below for you. I can, well, Quizlet's not the same everywhere, but Quizlet has been wonderful for me in my school. You can always go in there and search the name of the class. So like the class I'm in right now is Nursing 180. You can always go in there and search for your specific school and see if somebody else has made a Quizlet that may be helpful to you. And then practice questions. We use ATI. I know some schools do HESI. If you have an ATI book, use it. I find that they're very helpful summaries. And the study guides that go with the books, and then the Davis Success Series books. So I'll just put a little box here for you guys so that you can see what all I like and use that's been helpful for me. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you take something away from this and find it helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. Before you go, please be sure to like this video if you have not already. Comment down below how you study and how you've been successful in school, and be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any more of my uploads. I'll see you guys in the next one.